Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal Part 235 to 236 based on novel. So let's start. Slaughter. Qing Shui let out a roar and he rushed out surrounded by red light. The G realm revolved around him, and although his hands made no seal, spells appeared round him. A thin line appeared before him. It was like a line of blood, and after it appeared, it seemed like it could tear space. As Qing Shui charged out, the line also shot out toward the retreating arm. Boom! An earth-shattering sound echoed when Qing Shui closed in on the arm and attacked like crazy. Endless rumbles echoed, and every time the red line attacked, the arm would tremble. When Wang Lin saw this, he gasped. His body, which was sitting next to the moongazer serpent's bone, suddenly got up and charged ahead. Although I, Wang Lin, was no gentleman as I traveled the world, I owe Qing Shui. Now that he is anxious and crazy, I can't sit back and ignore this. Qing Shui seemed to have gone mad and was attacking unceasingly. This scene made the golden dragon's pupils shrink. Even Yi Muzi gasped. He finally understood why the head elder of the family had told him to not casually provoke Qing Shui. Wu Do Chan's expression also changed as he looked at Qing Shui. In particular, the red line before Qing Shui made his mind tremble. As for Qing Shui, his right eye suddenly exploded into a pile of flesh and blood. All of his G realm charged out and landed on the arm. The arm trembled, and at this moment, it loosened its grip on esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul. The golden dragon that had been observing this battle charged out and its eyes lit up. His large body went toward esteemed Shen Bao and his dragon tail whipped toward Qing Shui. There was also the arm with the aura of the moongazer serpent. It opened its hand, and this time it reached toward Qing Shui. Qing Shui's right eye was a bloody mess and his left eye was completely red with a hint of madness. His right hand formed a seal and he pointed with this finger. In an instant, black wind raged by and 8 roaring black dragons appeared around him. The power of his 8 black dragons was only second to by fans call the wind, which could summon 9 black dragons. The power of 8 dragons was several times more powerful than 7 dragons. As the 8 call the wind dragons roared, they charged directly at esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul. They didn't destroy it, but swept by, causing esteemed Shen Bao's origin to almost collapse. As the 8 dragons circled the origin soul, they constantly sealed it, causing esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul to enter a coma. Then they sent the origin soul toward the vortex at the entrance. Right when esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul was blown toward the entrance, Wang Lin's body entered the vortex. He immediately grabbed esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul and rapidly retreated. In a flash, he rushed back out the vortex. All of this happened so smoothly that there was no hesitation at all. Qing Shui's spell and Wang Lin's appearance were perfectly timed together. Before leaving, Wang Lin saw a trace of trust inside the madness in Qing Shui's left eye. Senior brother Qing Shui, I'll do my best. Wang Lin drilled out from the vortex. After throwing esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul into his bag, he turned around and opened his third eye without hesitation. The red light fanned out and locked onto the vortex, causing that sliver of source origin energy to come out again. The golden dragon let out roar and immediately changed directions. It was so fast that it arrived next to the vortex in an instant and went inside it. The moment it entered, the golden light collided with the red light from the third eye. It was startled as there was a trace of power inside the red light that was even able to shock itself. However, the red light was too weak to be of a threat to it, though the feeling in the depths of its heart was very obvious. His large body involuntarily paused. The moment Wang Lin saw the giant dragon's head, he was shaken. Being so close, the pressure made him gasp. The other party also paused for a moment, and Wang Lin immediately drilled into the nearby flesh wall. He moved very quickly and not downward, but instead up. While he escaped, Wang Lin's hands formed a seal and he felt the backups he had planted. His face had gloomy yet ruthless expression. The golden dragon's giant body was far faster than Wang Lin. In its view, Wang Lin was just an ant, and such an ant had dared to actually steal esteemed Shen Bao's origin soul before it. This was inciting the wrath of heaven. He wouldn't even need to waste the energy to blow away dust to kill this ant. As it chased, it let out a roar. Roar. This roar contained origin energy that was simply too fast, and it charged ahead, causing the surrounding flesh walls to tremble. Wang Lin's body trembled and he coughed out blood, but he didn't stop. Instead, he borrowed this force to move even faster. Explode! Wang Lin shouted. While he moved forward, his origin soul was shaken. If not for his ancient god body, he would have exploded and died. Even now he felt the intense pain. However, he had no fear. As he shouted, the flying swords he had hidden at the Moongazer serpent's sensitive spots suddenly exploded. There were several extremely sensitive spots in the Moongazer serpent. Although these explosions couldn't seriously injure it, once those places were damaged, it would bring unimaginable pain to the Moongazer serpent. The intense pain would cause the Moongazer serpent's anger to reach its peak. However, it was almost impossible for people to find these places in the giant Moongazer serpent. Even if they accidentally hit them, it wouldn't affect the Moongazer serpent too much. But it was different for Wang Lin. Right now, all of the Moongazer serpent's sensitive spots were hit by the exploding flying swords at once. This kind of pain wasn't any weaker than when it was injured before. The Moongazer serpent's large body was aimlessly wandering through the void, but at this moment, its body trembled violently. Then a maddening roar came from inside its body. There was a heaven-shaking change happening inside the Moongazer serpent's body. The Moongazer serpent's movement caused a powerful pressure to spread. It shook so violently that it felt like the world had turned upside down. Roar. The Moongazer serpent let out another angry roar. This time it extended its body and opened its mouth. It moved even faster, as if it wanted to spit out everything that was inside it. There was a powerful force pushing out from its mouth. At this instant, Wang Lin, who was escaping, was about to be caught by the golden dragon when a force surrounded his body. He didn't stop at all and was pushed up at an extremely fast speed. The flesh wall above him opened, creating a direct passage to the Moongazer serpent's mouth. Not only Wang Lin, the golden dragon was the same. It lost control of its body and was directly pushed by a force. Similarly, in the vortex, Qing Shui was fighting with the arm when his body was involuntarily pushed upward. Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan couldn't escape either. They were affected by the impact and pushed out through the crack. The Moongazer serpent continued to roar in the darkness. Endless force pushed out from inside the Moongazer serpent. There was a flash of gold, and the golden dragon's body was the first to be spat out. Shortly after it was Wang Lin. After that, Qing Shui, Yi Muzi, and Wudo Chan were all spat out into the void. The moment Wang Lin was spat out, he sealed his own origin energy and celestial origin energy on his own in hopes of delaying their suppression. However, it had no effect. He felt his origin energy rapidly disappear, and layers of restriction landed on his body. The celestial origin energy in his body suffered the same fate. Only the ancient god strength in his ancient god body wasn't affected at all. Wang Lin's expression remained neutral as he quickly retreated. He wasn't the only one whose origin energy was being rapidly suppressed. The golden dragon, Yi Muzi, and everyone else suffered the same fate. However, these people were very aware about this strange place. Yi Muzi had 3 pieces of purple wood surrounding him and his face was pale. Although he couldn't stop the dissipation completely, he could slow it down. An invisible light flashed around the golden dragon, allowing it to barely resist the sealing force, but it was obviously inferior to Yi Muzi's method. Wudo Chan was the most relaxed. He had a huge bubble around him that seemed to isolate his surroundings. However, that bubble was constantly dissipating, and it required him to constantly use origin energy to replenish it. As for Qing Shui, he simply waved his hand and used Earth Prison to forcibly block the sealing force, but he couldn't maintain it for long. By contrast, the most relaxed one was Wang Lin. He completely ignored the origin energy inside his body as he clenched his fist, stared at the golden dragon, and revealed a sneer. However, he didn't move. He continued retreating and thought, right now is not the best chance, let's wait a bit more. Just as everyone was thrown out, the roar of the Moongazer serpent echoed once more. Then a vortex appeared between its eyes and a figure came out. This person was unexpectedly Ji Xiantian. However, Ji Xiantian's eyes were dim and they would occasionally show a flash of struggle. A moment later, he let out a roar and flew out from the vortex between the moongazer serpent's eyes. Wang Lin's pupils shrank but then immediately shined brightly. His heart began pounding faster and faster. With his ancient god body, he immediately detected the aura of an ancient god from Ji Xiantian's body. From his view, this Ji Xiantian was formed by a star of an ancient god. Or to be more accurate, he was fused with the star of an ancient god to become an existence that wasn't a celestial, cultivator, or ancient god. Ancient god puppet spell. Wang Lin immediately recalled something from Tusai's memory, a spell that only an adult ancient god could use. Ji Xiantian's body contains a star of an ancient god. By absorbing him, I can obtain a portion of the ancient god's strength inheritance. An ancient god puppet fused with one star was no different from a one-star ancient god in strength, and Ji Xiantian's star came from an 8-star ancient god. Ji Xiantian let out a roar and flickered, creating a sonic boom. He was fast beyond imagination, not even teleportation can reach this speed. As the explosion echoed, his body had already arrived next to the golden dragon. He then threw a punch, causing the golden dragon to tremble and cough out blood. The golden dragon's large body was mercilessly knocked back. The moment the golden dragon was knocked back, Ji Xiantian suddenly disappeared and the bubble around Wudo-chan exploded. Wudo-chan's chest sank in and a hole appeared in it as if it was crushed by a fist. He coughed out blood and his ribs were broken. Shock filled his eyes as he was knocked back. This wasn't the end. The moment the golden dragon and Wudo-chan were knocked away, the 3 purple logs around Yimuzi rotated rapidly. Roaring sounds came from them and they formed an almost airtight defense. However, Ji Xiantian was too fast and was able to find a gap between the 3 rotating purple logs. His fist pierced through and landed on Yimuzi. Blood came out from the corner of Yimuzi's mouth and he retreated. Large amounts of ripples appeared before Qing Shui's body and his left eye shined brightly. An impact came toward him, causing him to retreat, and the more he retreated, the more intense the ripples before him became. A moment later, the ripples suddenly intensified, and with a bang, Qing Shui's face turned pale. Then he retreated even faster. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. It was so fast that not the eye or divine sense could capture Ji Xiantian's unimaginable speed. Due to the sealing power of the void, the origin energy in their bodies was suppressed. Along with Yi Xiantian's wave of attacks, their cultivation immediately fell. Wang Lin wasn't able to see Ji Xiantian's shadow, he just felt a gust of wind come at him. Then an extremely powerful force charged straight at him. However, Wang Lin was not alarmed at all. The moment the power closed in, Wang Lin's body turned and he threw a punch into the void with his left hand based on the mysterious feeling he had from his ancient god body. Bang! After a heaven-shattering boom, Wang Lin was forced back. His face turned pale and blood came out from the corner of his mouth. However, before him, Ji Xiantian was forced out from the void for the first time. Ji Xiantian was forced back 2 steps, and he looked at Wang Lin with a mysterious light in his eyes. As Wang Lin retreated, he quickly shouted, "He has no origin energy inside his body, so he is not limited by the seal here. He is good at physical attacks." Senior's origin energy was all dissipated, so if you all don't work together to kill him, it will become dangerous. Junior, shut up. The golden dragon's body moved and the 5 talismans around it gave off a strange glow. The aura of the 5 elements filled its body, and instead of charging toward Ji Xiantian, he charged toward Wang Lin. The 5-element aura rotated, and as the golden dragon roared, it turned into 5 rays that shot at Wang Lin. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes. He knew he couldn't escape the golden dragon's spell, so he simply stopped before the 5-element aura and took out Xian Bao's origin soul without hesitation. He was about to crush it. "If you take one more step, don't blame me for destroying this origin soul." The 5-element aura suddenly paused and the golden dragon's eyes filled anger. If it wasn't for the fact that its origin energy was dissipating too fast and that it had been injured by Ji Xiantian, he would not be threatened like this. However, right now he could only be angry. In the distance, Ji Xiantian revealed a strange smile and suddenly disappeared. Yi Mu's expression changed and he quickly retreated, but his speed was too slow. Popping sounds echoed around his body like crazy, as if he was being hit by a powerful impact. All his spells at this moment were too slow. Before he could even use them, they had already collapsed. What made Yi Mu even more oppressed was that when he used a spell, a majority of its strength would be weakened by the void. It was impossible to display the spell's full power, or else he wouldn't be in such a sorry state. The origin energy in his body continued to dissipate, and it was dissipating faster and faster. His cultivation had already dropped from peak to late-stage nirvana cleanser. An instant later, Yi Mu no longer cared about the loss of origin energy. He opened his arms and shouted, "One wood, one realm." One of the 3 purple logs immediately collapsed into specks of light, forming its own realm. I immediately sealed the surrounding 50-kilometer area. However, Ji Xiantian was even faster. As the 50-kilometer area was being sealed, he took a step back and disappeared. Enough. Let's kill this Ji Xiantian puppet first before dealing with anything else. Wu Do-chan's expression was gloomy as his cultivation level had also fallen a lot. While letting out a roar, he took a step out and a large amount of bubbles appeared. Under his control, a bubble shot straight toward Yi Mu. Void annihilation. Wu Do-chan's hands formed a seal and pointed forward. The bubble turned from 1 to 2, then 2 to 4, until they surrounded the area. Just at this moment, one of the bubbles suddenly collapsed. Wu Do-chan's eyes lit up. His divine sense spread out and all the surrounding bubbles gathered. Explode. As the explosion echoed, Yi Mu waved his sleeves with a gloomy expression. A 1,000-foot-long log immediately appeared and flew toward where he waved. A powerful impact spread in all directions. At the same time, the golden dragon groaned and was knocked back again. Ji Xiantian reappeared close to the golden dragon without any injuries. He then continued to bombard the golden dragon. As the golden dragon retreated, it let out a roar. He coiled up and opened his mouth to devour Ji Xiantian. However, the moment he opened his mouth, all of his teeth were shattered. Ji Xiantian laughed like crazy and retreated. Then his eyes lit up and he said something in a language that no one here but Wang Lin could understand. "Today, none of you can leave." While retreating, Ji Xiantian's body disappeared. Wang Lin was calm, and at the moment Ji Xiantian disappeared, his right hand formed a fist and he punched to his side. With a bang, Wang Lin's body was knocked back, but Ji Xiantian was also forced to reveal himself. Qing Shui immediately closed in, and his right hand formed a seal and black wind appeared. The black wind turned into 8 roaring black dragons that charged toward Ji Xiantian. Ji Xiantian revealed a strange smile. When the black dragons arrived, he had already disappeared. However, just as he was about to disappear, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a mysterious light. The ancient god furnace appeared around Wang Lin and he disappeared in the blink of an eye. When Wang Lin reappeared, it was right where Ji Xiantian was retreating to. After he reappeared, the ancient god furnace hadn't disappeared yet, and Wang Lin threw a punch. Ji Xiantian immediately turned around and threw a punch that collided with Wang Lin's fist. With a bang, Wang Lin coughed out blood and was forced back. At the same time, Ji Xiantian was also pushed back. At this moment, Qing Shui's hand formed a seal and large amounts of raindrops appeared and closed in. Ji Xiantian sneered and used his speed to disappear once more. There was a flash of coldness in Wang Lin's eyes and he shouted, "Senior brother, help me with celestial origin energy." At the same time, he pointed and shouted, "Stop." With one word, all of Wang Lin's remaining origin energy and celestial origin energy began to move. They went through his right hand and into the void. Qing Shui didn't hesitate, he waved his right hand and sent half of his remaining celestial origin energy into Wang Lin's body. The celestial origin energy that entered Wang Lin's body was extremely powerful, and it came out through his right hand. The stop spell was used in a crazed manner for the first time by Wang Lin. This stop spell was beyond anything that was used before. With one word, stop, Ji Xiantian's body stopped in the void. In the distance, Yi Mu quickly moved forward. The seal here prevented teleportation, but his speed was not slow. Before he closed in, his hands formed a seal. Without hesitation, the illusory log before him rapidly rotated and shrank until it turned into a wooden sword. This wooden sword moved like lightning and pierced through Ji Shentian's head. Popping sounds were created as the entire sword pierced through Ji Shentian's body. Then the wooden sword suddenly exploded into countless pieces filled with power and collapsed inside his body. At the same time, Wudo Chan waved his hand and spat out a mouthful of origin energy that turned into a large amount of bubbles. This was done the moment Wang Lin stopped Ji Xiantian. He closed in and the bubbles surrounded Ji Xiantian before exploding. There was also that golden dragon. Currently, his hatred for Ji Xiantian was extremely strong. While letting out a roar, the 5 elements fused together and unexpectedly formed an illusory crown. This crown instantly closed in on Ji Xiantian and mercilessly crushed down on his head. The 3 old monsters all attacked at the same time. Ji Xiantian roared and wanted to struggle, but it was too late. There was a loud bang when the wooden sword, bubbles, and the crown landed at the same time. Then Ji Shentian's body suddenly collapsed. Large quantities of flesh and blood scattered. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a trace of greed that rarely appeared in his 1,000 years of cultivation. The ancient god furnace appeared around him and he instantly closed in on Ji Shentian's collapsed body. In a flash, he bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a mouthful of ancient god blood. He then opened his mouth and inhaled like crazy. Inheritance of power. A fist-sized star from Ji Shentian's collapsed body gave off a gentle glow. It emitted the power of the ancient god. As Wang Lin inhaled, the purple star trembled and charged toward him. Just as it was about to be devoured by Wang Lin, the moongazer serpent let out a roar. Then an extremely powerful ancient god aura exploded from the moongazer serpent. At the same time, Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan revealed a strange light in their eyes, and the 2 of them charged at the purple star. However, they both had used a lot of origin energy in the last battle, so their cultivation levels had dropped directly to Nirvana Scrya. The 2 of them quickly charged at the purple star from 2 different angles. There was a hint of madness inside Wang Lin's eyes. As the 2 closed in, popping sounds came from his body and he grew 1-fold and directly swallowed the star. The moment he devoured the star, Wang Lin felt an unimaginable power explode from his body. After the power exploded in his body, he retreated like crazy. An aura moved both inside and outside of his body, and he was filled with a powerful feeling. He felt like everything before him would be destroyed if he just threw a punch. He let out a laugh, and his body suddenly went through a change as he retreated. Popping sounds came from his body and he suddenly became a giant hundreds of feet tall. An extremely powerful aura suddenly filled the void. The hidden ancient god star between Wang Lin's eyebrows condensed and the previous 3.5 stars immediately became 4 stars. These were 4 real stars. A 4-star ancient god from the royal bloodline with inheritance from Tu Sai. This was different from an ordinary 4-star ancient god. The popping sounds inside Wang Lin's body became even more intense and he directly grew until he was about 1,000 feet tall. A powerful aura spread out like crazy. The pupils of both Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan shrank as they stared at Wang Lin. Wang Lin clenched his fist and let out a laugh. The feeling of controlling the world filled him with confidence. At this moment, he suddenly turned around and his giant body moved past Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan. He charged directly toward the golden dragon who was staring at all of this dumbfoundedly. The golden dragon had been injured many times and had used many spells. In addition, a large amount of his origin energy had been sealed, so the amount of power he could display had dropped directly to early-stage Nirvana Scrya. Looking at Wang Lin's 1,000-foot-tall body coming at him, the golden dragon quickly shrank back into a dragon-robed person. He then retreated while his hands formed a seal, causing the 5 talismans around his head to rapidly rotate, and he shouted, "Poison fire." After he spoke, one of the talismans above his head began burning. A green flame containing powerful poison shot toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was different. Right now he was no longer a cultivator but an ancient god who had obtained the inheritance of power and the inheritance of knowledge. A 4-star royal ancient god. Although Wang Lin's avatar's power was completely sealed and he could only use the power of his ancient god body, a 4-star ancient god was powerful enough to kill this golden dragon. The poison fire contained poison that was deadly to cultivators but was really insignificant to an ancient god. When Wang Lin closed in, his giant fist smashed down. Boom! A sonic boom occurred and the punch created a gust of wind. The moment the green fire arrived, it was extinguished. Large amounts of green smoke appeared and was pushed back at the dragon-robed man. The dragon-robed middle-aged man's expression changed greatly, and his hands formed a seal and he shouted, "Tribute water, ruined metal, punishment wood, buried earth." As he roared, the 5 talismans above his head all shined and moved without any wind. Then a blue sea suddenly appeared and smashed toward Wang Lin. This sea was the tribute water, and it brought the power of an army, arriving with a roar. However, it wasn't able to stop Wang Lin's 4-star ancient god punch. The instant the sea arrived, it collapsed into countless drops of water and was pushed back. This sea indeed did have the power of an army, but Wang Lin's punch was several times more powerful, so now could the sea not collapse. The moment the tribute water disintegrated, there was a flash of gold as the sword formed by the dragon scales shot out toward Wang Lin. His fist landed, and with a bang, the dragon scale sword trembled. It began cracking at the tip, as if there was a force peeling away all the dragon scales. After the dragon scale sword, a black log followed immediately after. This huge log gave off the scent of blood and had countless souls of celestials in it. As the mournful cries echoed, countless ripples attacked Wang Lin. After the punishment wood, large amounts of black soil formed a black storm that charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression was still indifferent, and his right fist landed on the punishment wood. The log was split in half and wasn't able to stop his fist in the slightest. The black storm formed by the black soil suddenly collapsed the moment the log was split in half. Nothing could stop the punch from Wang Lin's 4-star royal ancient god body. After shattering all 5 elements, this punch landed directly on the dragon-robed man. There was a heaven-shaking explosion as the dragon-robed man coughed out blood and was knocked back. All of this happened in a short period of time. From the view of Yi Muzi and company, Wang Lin's giant body had taken a step, thrown a punch, and the dragon-robed man was knocked backward. Popping sounds came from inside the dragon-robed man and a large amount of blood spray out from his body. If they were outside and his cultivation wasn't sealed, it would have been very difficult for Wang Lin to injure him. However, here, Wang Lin held all the advantages. This man in the dragon robe had most of his cultivation sealed, so he had to retreat. Wang Lin's eyes were indifferent as he moved forward and kicked with his right foot. The face of the man in the dragon robe was ashen. Unwillingness filled his eyes as his hand formed a seal and he shouted, "Power of the 5 element." After he spoke, the 5 talismans over his head rotated rapidly and the aura of the 5 elements appeared and formed an illusory crown. Then the power of the 5 elements shot out at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his hands reached out. Although his body had grown, his bag of holding was still with him. While it is really small compared to his body, he could still open it. After he reached toward it, a crown appeared in Wang Lin's hand. The moment crown appeared, the dragon-robed man's expression changed greatly. Disbelief filled his eyes as he exclaimed, "The Dragon Saint's 5-element crown. How could you possibly have this? It even has a soul." The dragon-robed man was flustered as he gave up on his spell and retreated. At the same time, he took out a wooden token and directly crushed it. The wooden token turned into smoke and seemed to open a passage in this void. He was about to enter the passage. Just as he was about to flee, the crown in Wang Lin's hand flew out. As it rotated, it gave off 5-colored light. Then a rose appeared, and as it bloomed, the shadow of a woman appeared. The woman was filled with arrogance and was an absolute beauty. After she appeared, she pointed her jade-like hand at the dragon-robed man. With this point of her finger, the dragon-robed man let out a miserable roar and could no longer escape. It was as if he was being pulled, and he turned into a ray of light and was absorbed by the crown. The beautiful woman turned around and carefully looked at Wang Lin. She opened her mouth as if she wanted to say something, but no sound came out, and she eventually disappeared. This scene didn't only shock Yi Muzi and company, it even shocked Wang Lin. He quickly retrieved the crown and coldly stared at Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan. These two people now posed no threat to Wang Lin. Their cultivation had already been seriously sealed and would continue to be sealed. Then Wang Lin's gaze turned to the moongazer serpent that gave off the aura of an ancient god. Then he opened his mouth and let out a roar. The roar from his 1,000-foot body was no weaker than the moongazer serpent's, as it was the sound of an ancient god. When he let out the roar, it was heaven shaking. Even this void didn't seem to be able to stop the roar of an ancient god. Endless thunderous rumbles formed and countless sonic booms spread out. There was only one meaning contained within this roar in the language of the ancient gods, and that was challenge. Every child ancient god had to challenge another ancient god as a passage to adulthood. Wang Lin, who held the inheritance of knowledge of Tu Sai, knew this very well. For the ancient god clan, in order to go from 3 stars to 4 stars, one required the aura of an adult ancient god. Otherwise, it would be impossible to advance. This was something that couldn't be changed. Once an ancient god obtained 4 stars, they would have the qualification for adulthood. And this was the qualification to challenge. His roar was to tell the ancient god inside the moongazer serpent that he wanted to challenge him. The moment Wang Lin's roar came out, a roar came out from inside the moongazer serpent. The moongazer serpent opened its mouth and countless tentacles came out. There was a person entangled within the tentacles. This person was the same size as a normal cultivator, but with 5 blurred stars rotating on his forehead. He was entangled by tentacles as he stared at Wang Lin. "My clan member, I accept your challenge for your passage to adulthood." The moment the 5-star ancient god spoke, the tentacles around it all loosened one by one. He then moved forward and walked 3 steps. After the first step, his body grew until he was 300 feet tall, and a powerful aura surged out. Then, after the second step, he directly became a 1,000-foot giant, and an ancient aura surrounded the area. When he took the third step, he became 3,000 feet tall and was like a god. Yi Muzi was shocked when he saw all of this. He never would have thought that this Shu Mu had been hiding such a shocking secret. This person was actually an ancient god. When he was sent here by the head elder of the family, he gained details about the moongazer serpent and prepared himself thoroughly. Although he was shocked, he didn't forget his task. After watching the 5-star ancient god walk out of the moongazer serpent's mouth, he didn't hesitate to charge inside. He charged directly toward the moongazer serpent's mouth. Although his cultivation had fallen greatly, his speed was not slow at all. In a flash, he disappeared into the moongazer serpent's mouth. Wudo Chan's expression was a bit complex. He had looked through some records in the Alliance and accidentally found out the identity of the moongazer serpent. So he knew there was something inside the moongazer serpent called the moonflower. The records said that the moongazer serpent's moonflower can be used to refine a pseudo-nirvana void treasure. If I can obtain it and refine a pseudo-nirvana void treasure, then I can replace esteemed Shen Bao in the elder group. He clenched his teeth and chased after Yi Muzi. Just as the moongazer serpent closed its mouth, he entered. Only Qing Shuai didn't enter the moongazer serpent's mouth. He frowned as he silently watched Wang Lin and the huge 5-star ancient god. "Clan member, my name is Lu Chen." The 5-star ancient god's eyes were filled with an ancient aura as he stepped forward. He didn't form a fist but hit with his palm. There was a heaven-shaking sound and a giant handprint formed from Lu Chen's hand and shot straight toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. This handprint was similar to the one in the celestial realm, but also very different. It shot directly toward Wang Lin, and Lu Chen's hand followed directly after the handprint. Wang Lin took a deep breath. The 4 stars on his head rotated, his right hand pointed up, and the ancient god's language came out from his mouth. Since he was now a 4-star ancient god, he could use some of the ancient god's spells. Wang Lin had waited a very long time for this day. In an instant, a giant vortex appeared before him. Ancient god's weapon. As Wang Lin roared, bursts of purple lightning came out of the vortex and then a long spear flew out. This spear was illusory, and it seemed like it was formed by the purple lightning. Wang Lin grabbed the spear and swept forward. It collided with the incoming handprint. A loud rumble was triggered when they collided, and the handprint was cut in half. However, Wang Lin's spear was immediately grabbed by Lu Chen. With a squeeze, thunder came out from the spear and then the spear collapsed. Wang Lin took a step out. Although his body was weak compared to Lu Chen's, he still gave off an imposing aura. His right hand formed a fist and he threw it out. Lu Chen looked at Wang Lin with a complex gaze. He had been forced to consume a star to refine Ji Xiantian into a puppet. Although he had left the Moongazer serpent's body, there were unspeakable difficulties. Even now, he didn't know if he was the Moongazer serpent or an ancient god. He had assimilated with this Moongazer serpent for far too long. His mind was invaded by the Moongazer serpent. In his view, he wasn't worthy of being called an ancient god, he was merely the puppet of the Moongazer serpent. He had always struggled between whether he should pass the inheritance to Wang Lin or devour Wang Lin. While he was struggling when he voluntarily gave out a star to Ji Xiantian, perhaps in his heart he meant to gift that star to Wang Lin. At this moment, he took a deep breath, his right hand formed a fist, and he threw a punch. There was a bang, and Wang Lin felt his right arm go numb and he was forced back. Lu Chen was also forced back several steps, and the stars between his eyebrows became even more blurred. The reason Wang Lin had challenged Lu Chen was because he knew that even though Luo Chen wasn't a child ancient god, he was extremely weak right now. The stars between Lu Chen's brows being blurry proved his point. As opposed to Wang Lin, who only had 4 stars, the stars were solid and shined brightly. More importantly, Wang Lin was of the royal bloodline. Even if an ordinary ancient god had devoured Lu Chen's star and their cultivation level became higher than Wang Lin's, they would still be no match for the royal clan's spells. The royal clan of the ancient gods were real kings. Not only could they use royal clan spells, they also had royal clan weapons. As he retreated, Wang Lin took a step forward and charged out at Lu Chen. The two continued to exchange bombardments of fists with each other. Ripples echoed and loud rumbles spread across the void. At the start of the battle, Wang Lin was at a disadvantage, but the more he fought, the fiercer he became. Wang Lin gradually grew familiar with the power of a 4-star ancient god as he fought. Oftentimes, a powerful storm would be set off with each punch. The punches also contained the spells of the ancient gods, so his battle with Lu Chen became even more intense. With a bang, the two parted. As Wang Lin retreated, he raised his large hands and his eyes lit up. He began chanting in the language of the ancient gods, and then the shadow of a towering ancient god appeared before him. It immediately let out a roar toward Lu Chen. The complex gaze in Lu Chen's face became even more intense, and he also raised his hands. The shadow of an ancient god appeared behind him, and it was taller than 100,000 feet. It was as if a real giant had just appeared out of nowhere. However, this giant's body was extremely bloated. It looked more like a moongazer serpent than an ancient god. What was even more terrifying was that there was armor around this giant, and just its imposing aura was enough to make ordinary cultivators lose their wit. As the armored giant roared, Wang Lin and Lu Chen closed in on each other once more, causing explosions to echo once more. This time it wasn't just the two of them fighting, even the giants behind them began to fight. As Wang Lin laughed, his left hand reached out and recalled that weapon he saw Tuor Sen use in the ancient god's body. Ancient god Tu-Sai's life treasure, the god-slaying spear. As he thought about the spear, the language of the ancient gods came out from his mouth. Although he wasn't able to call out the true body of Tu-Sai's life treasure with his 4-star power, he could call out an illusion. As Wang Lin reached out, large amounts of red mist appeared out of nowhere. This red mist churned and gathered in Wang Lin's hand. Then a 1,000-foot-long spear suddenly appeared. This spear was 1,000 feet long and 10 feet wide, and it flashed red. It was the very famous god-slaying spear of the ancient god clan. Even the void began to twist around it, and as the spear gently swept by, a net-like object appeared. The net-like object in the void was formed by the powerful formation that cut off origin energy. Normally, it was impossible for it to appear, but under the swing of the god-slaying spear, it was forced to show its original form. The god-slaying spear was something only the royal clan could use. When a royal clan ancient god reached adulthood, they would choose a weapon. These weapons were passed down from previous generations, but only the royal clan could use them. When Lu Chen saw the god-slaying spear, the complex gaze in his eyes became even stronger. He could tell that Wang Lin's ancient god inheritance was extremely noble. He speculated that this person was a junior that had received the royal inheritance and cultivated as an ancient god on his own. However, after he truly saw the god-slaying spear, he was not only able to confirm his speculation, he also knew where Wang Lin's inheritance came from. Tu sigh. I didn't think even he had died. Lu Chen let out a sigh. The complex emotions in his eyes disappeared, and it was replaced with a gentle gaze. Tu sigh's inheritor, let me see how much of this illusory god-slaying spear's power you can use. It was as if the knot in Lu Chen's heart had been loosened. While laughing, his right hand reached out and the bone in his right arm began to move. Bone spikes suddenly came out from his skin, and in an instant, Lu Chen's right arm was covered in bone spikes. They extended like crazy, and in the blink of an eye, they were 1,000 feet long. They formed an extremely strange yet ferocious weapon. Wang Lin gripped the illusory god-slaying spear and battling intent filled his body. As he held the spear, the feeling that he was Tu Sai appeared once more. Right now Lu Chen was the only person in his vision. I'm ancient god Wang Lin. Wang Lin stepped out and the god-slaying spear swept forward. He heard popping sounds and then a large net appeared before him. This net was illusory and it covered the entire void. Lu Chen laughed and also closed in. The stinger formed by his right arm swung forward and directly matched Wang Lin's god-slaying spear. There was a bang when the two of them collided. Then popping sounds echoed as the two continued to fight. Their violent battle caused a net-like object to appear. Battle intent filled Wang Lin's eyes, and during the battle, he threw the god-slaying spear. Then both of his hands met before him with his thumb and forefinger linked, forming a diamond. He shouted, God-slaying seal. This god-slaying seal was one of the spells of the ancient gods, and it was something only the royal bloodline had. The god-slaying spear flew out like lightning toward Lu Chen. At the same time, the god-slaying seal shot out in a diamond shape and flashed forward. Lu Chen laughed and shouted, good. He waved his right hand and collided with the god-slaying spear, creating an amazing shockwave. Then the god-slaying seal arrived and an unimaginable storm was set off in the void. This storm swept across this void as a large amount of the net revealed itself. As the net flashed, two ghostly lights suddenly appeared under it. The ghostly lights revealed a cold and ruthless gaze. It was as if it was looking through the net from the outside. Moongazer serpent. Ancient god. 1. Handprint on the door back when he first entered the Rain Celestial Realm. Part 236. The moment that cold and ghostly light appeared, Qing Shui's originally calm expression changed drastically. He stared at where the ghostly light appeared and his eyes shined. However, that ghostly light immediately disappeared as if it never existed. Whether it was the ghostly light's appearance or disappearance, Qing Shui actually didn't see anything. However, just at that instant, there was a terrifying feeling that made all the hair on his body stood up. He had never had this feeling, even when he met his teacher, Bai Fan. However, subconsciously, he felt as if he had felt this before. This contradicting feeling made it so Qing Shui couldn't find the reason. His expression was gloomy and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. He remained vigilant and stared ahead while searching his memories for the answer to this contradicting feeling. As Lu Chen laughed, he suddenly retreated from the god-slaying seal. Large amounts of the bone spikes on his arms had collapsed, but he was excited. He looked at Wang Lin with admiration. After the bombardment, Wang Lin also retreated. The god-slaying spear in his hand was almost transparent now. Although he looked normal, he was greatly shocked. Earlier, Wang Lin clearly felt the heaven-defying bead that had been fused with his origin soul and been dormant for a long time unexpectedly trembled for a moment. This was an extremely rare occurrence. When the heaven-defying bead trembled, a sliver of mysterious power came out from the bead and went into Wang Lin's body. This caused his eyes to shine blue for that instant. Borrowing the moment of retreat, Wang Lin's gaze swept his surroundings. At this moment, it was as if hundreds of thousands of bolts of thunder had exploded in his mind. He saw the ghostly light under the net that not even Qing Shui could see. When the ruthlessness from the ghostly light landed in Wang Lin's eyes, it was as if he had devoured a piece of never-melting ice. His entire body was cold inside and out. The two ghostly lights seemed to notice Wang Lin's gaze. They revealed a trace of shock and gradually disappeared. What the hell is this? As Wang Lin retreated, his mind shook. When he saw Qing Shui's gaze, he knew Qing Shui must have noticed it too. At this moment, Lu Chen laughed and closed in once more. He raised his right hand and mercilessly gripped. The 5 stars on his forehead rotated. In the blink of an eye, the 5 stars flew off his forehead and embedded onto Lu Chen's fist. When his fist arrived, the 5 stars appeared on his fist. They rotated rapidly until they formed a vortex. As Lu Chen's fist closed in, the vortex formed a storm. It looks like Lu Chen didn't notice the abnormality. He is a 5-star ancient god. Yet he unexpectedly didn't notice. Instead, it was Qing Shui who did. Wang Lin felt a lot of dread toward the two ghostly lights under the net. At this moment, Lu Chen's right fist swept by. Wang Lin's hand immediately swung forward and the power of a 4-star ancient god surged out. Wang Lin borrowed his power to change directions and moved far away from the net. I noticed it because of the mysterious power from the heaven-defying bead. Qing Shui must have his own secret for being able to detect it. But just what exactly is hidden inside the void? Popping sounds echoed as Wang Lin and Lu Chen exchanged moves. Their collisions turned into endless rumbles that echoed across the void. As Lu Chen's fist continued to bombard Wang Lin, the stars on his hand produced a suction force that actually pulled Wang Lin in. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and the 4-star between his eyebrows spun rapidly. They merged into his right hand as he met Lu Chen's incoming fist. If the battle of two ancient gods was placed in normal space, it would immediately cause the space to collapse. However, they weren't affected here. As the rumbles continued, Wang Lin retreated and escaped the suction force from Lu Chen's fist. Lu Chen took a step and instantly closed in on Wang Lin while waving his fist. Countless fierce bone spikes appeared from his body. They were filled with the power of an ancient god and shot toward Wang Lin like arrows. Wang Lin's right hand shook the god-slaying spear and swept it forward. Without any hesitation, the language of the ancient gods came from his mouth. Origin ancient god, borrowing the power of the ancestors. The moment he spoke, a large vortex appeared before him and absorbed all the bone spikes. The moment the vortex appeared, an earth-shattering roar echoed. For the first time, excitement appeared in Lu Chen's eyes. He smiled and said, "The origin ancient god spell that borrows power from the ancestors that only the royal clan can use. I, Lu Chen, haven't seen it in a long time." As he spoke, he stopped in the void and his hands formed a ring. An illusory ancient god star appeared above his forehead. Shortly after, one star after another appeared. When Lu Chen moved his hand, the 5 stars emitted a gentle light and began to rotate. Then something flew out from the ring. "Ancient god beast spirit," Lu Chen shouted. Then the thing that flew out flashed and turned into a giant elephant. This elephant was completely black and its long fur looked extremely ferocious. Its 2 long tusks gave off a white glow and its rough trunk was like a powerful arm. The elephant lifted its body as it let out a roar and mercilessly stomped down. This created violent rumbles, and a savage flame came out from this giant elephant's body like crazy. Not only did the ancient god clan members have bodies that could destroy worlds, they also had incomparable magic spells. This beast spirit was one of the powerful spells of the ancient gods. Only 5-star ancient gods could use it, and it had to be refined for a long time before they could use it. Almost every adult ancient god had this spell. The first thing every ancient god did when they reached adulthood was find their own beast spirit to refine. Tusai also had a beast spirit. Back in the land of the ancient god, the beast that prevented Tuor Sen from obtaining the inheritance of knowledge was Tusai's beast spirit. At this moment, Lu Chen used the spirit beast spell, and the giant elephant charged forward. The vortex before Wang Lin suddenly changed. As the giant elephant closed in, a giant fist came out from the vortex. This fist had blue skin. When the fist came out, it collided with the giant elephant. Boom! An unimaginable sound spread across the void, creating a storm that could cause the world to collapse. The giant elephant let out a roar and its large body was pushed back. One of its two tusks broke in half and dissipated into dust. Lu Chen also retreated, and the admiration in his eyes became even stronger. Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood and quickly retreated. He avoided the impact from the ripple and the net. Lu Chen looked at Wang Lin and slowly said, "You are qualified to become an ancient god." The moment he spoke, the moongazer serpent in the distance revealed a demonic glow in its eyes. It then let out a roar. This roar caused Lu Chen's body to tremble, and struggle filled his eyes. Large amounts of veins bulged and his expression became ferocious. Looking at the moongazer serpent, he roared, "Damn animal, don't interfere with me anymore." The moongazer serpent's eyes became cold and its roar became even more intense. There was a will inside that roar that made Lu Chen tremble and reveal a painful expression. However, just at this moment, a shocking change suddenly occurred. A large portion of the net appeared in the space where the moongazer serpent was, and those two ghostly lights appeared once more. Qing Shui had been watching all of this closely. At this moment, his eyes lit up and he stared at the net near the moongazer serpent. His face turned extremely gloomy. Wang Lin also saw this, and his pupils shrank. As for Lu Chen, he also noticed that something was wrong. The moongazer serpent's large body suddenly trembled and it let out a roar. There was confusion and fear in its eyes, and it was about to rush out from this place. The flashing net closest to the moongazer serpent suddenly tore. The instant it tore, the opening widened and revealed a vast expanse. It was as if the seal in this void was ripped open, and the two ghostly lights charged out. The moment that ghostly lights charged out, Wang Lin, Qing Shui, and Lu Chen were all startled. "Teacher." Qing Shui's eyes was filled with disbelief. "Tu Sai." Wang Lin gasped. His scalp felt numb and he was about to flee. "Ancestor." Lu Chen stared at the thing that charged out of the crack and was startled. All three of them saw different things. 7-colored gas came out from the crack. This gas was very dense and surrounded the moongazer serpent before mercilessly dragging it toward the crack. The moongazer serpent struggled and let out angry roars. However, its large body seemed to have lost all power to resist and could only be dragged into the crack. As the moongazer serpent was dragged in, the crack quickly expanded. At this moment, not only did the moongazer serpent's angry roar lose its effect, even Yi Muzi and Wudo Chan, who were inside the moongazer serpent, were shocked. The two of them were moving quickly through the moongazer serpent when it was filled with the 7-colored gas. As the 7-colored gas filled the moongazer serpent's body, the two of them found that the rate at which they were losing origin energy had reached a horrifying degree. Large amounts of 7-colored gas came out through the crack. The gas split into 3 and went straight for Wang Lin, Lu Chen, and Qing Shui. Lu Chen had the deepest feeling regarding the moongazer serpent's pain as they had assimilated. Without hesitation, he stepped forward and threw a punch. This punch turned into a powerful rumble, and it was several times stronger than when he fought Wang Lin. The giant elephant let out a roar and turned into a black light that wrapped around Lu Chen's fist. This caused the roar of the elephant to echo as he punched. The elephant reformed before the punch and charged into the 7-colored gas. There was a heaven-shaking sound and a shocking shockwave spread out. The 7-colored gas was pushed back a bit but quickly spread even more and devoured the giant elephant. As the 7-colored gas closed in on Qing Shui, he didn't retreat and instead his eyes turned cold. His right hand pointed between his eyebrows and a purple-red line appeared and formed an arc. When Qing Shui saw that 7-colored gas, it was as if a flash of lightning crossed his mind, and he shouted, "I have spent my life cultivating as a celestial and have refined 7G realm roots, allowing me to become a celestial lord. I have slaughtered countless people but have never fought the heavens Tao." The moment the purple-red curved line appeared, it emitted a sizzling sound and an extremely powerful force came out from it. "Heavens Tao?" A low voice came from the crack and a chuckle came through. From the sound of the laugh, the person who spoke wasn't an old man. "Compared to you, who came from the sealed realm, I can indeed be considered your heavens Tao." The moongazer serpent, 2 ancient gods, And you, who cultivates the G realm, come with me to the place of the heavens Tao. This can be considered good fortune for you all. Qing Shui's eyes became cold and he charged out as the seven-colored gas closed in. The purple-red line arched through the seven-colored gas, creating popping sounds. As for Wang Lin, the seven-colored gas also closed in on him. This seven-colored gas contained a powerful sealing force that prevented him from retreating. Killing intent flash across his eyes as he waved the god-slaying spear in his hand and shouted, "Collap!" There was a loud rumble as the first 100 feet of the 1,000 feet god-slaying spear collapsed, creating a storm that shot toward the seven-colored gas. The moongazer serpent's roar became even more intense and it continued to struggle. The seven-colored gas surrounding its body looked like a seven-colored sun. It looked very beautiful. However, the mournful roar filled this beauty with strangeness. Half of the moongaze serpent's giant body had been pulled in, and was still being pulled in. Thanks to this seven-colored gas, it had lost all power to resist. Even as it struggled, it revealed a terrifying despair. Lu Chen had assimilated with the moongazer serpent. This roar pierced through him. As he rushed out, the 5 stars rotated and one of them flew out and collapsed. Shattered star of an ancient god. The star shattered and a crazed power appeared in the void. Just as the power of the shattered star was about to spread, Lu Chen mercilessly inhaled. As he inhaled, the power of the shattered star entered his mouth. Roars of pain came from his mouth as his body expanded from 3,000 feet to more than 7,000 feet. With one step, he broke free from the seven-colored gas and arrived next to the crack. As he roared, his powerful fist punched out. As he punched, one of the 4 stars between his eyebrows shattered. The star that shattered formed an unimaginable impact that entered his right arm and allowed him to launch a punch at peak power. This punch borrowed the power of 2 shattered stars. This allowed Lu Chen to reach power just short of his peak. As his roar echoed, 10 giant elephants appeared and charged forward. Boom! 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 At this instant, the void was filled with this majestic sound. His voice was so intense that even Wang Lin felt his ears sting. The void under his feet seemed to be impacted by a powerful force. If one looked from above, it would look as if the void within hundreds of thousands of kilometers had been scraped open, revealing the flashing net below. Even the seven-colored gas around Wang Lin and Qing Shui was pushed back. The crack that was swallowing the moongazer serpent was ripped open and the seven-colored gas was pushed back, revealing the figure hidden inside the seven-colored gas. The figure was completely exposed. He was a youth that looked very ordinary, but his eyes were extremely cold. What stood out about him was a crescent moon mark between his eyebrows. He coldly looked at Wang Lin's group and remained neutral toward Lu Chen's almost peak attack. He raised his right hand and calmly said, "Sealed Realms 99th Formation, Devour Formation, activate." After he spoke, a rapidly rotating vortex appeared before the youth. The vortex was dark and it was like a mouth that could devour all. It expanded like crazy and seemed to devour Lu Chen's punch. However, just this vortex wasn't enough to dissolve Lu Chen's ancient god power. After it devoured, the vortex rumbled and immediately collapsed. The youth's expression changed and he retreated. Then his hands formed a seal and he shouted, "The Sealed Realms 9th Formation, Heaven-Splitting Formation, activate." As he spoke, he bit the tip of his tongue and spat out a large mouthful of blood. This blood entered the crack before causing specks of light to fly out and condense into a large war axe. The moment the axe appeared, a pressure that could shake the heavens appeared and large amounts of collapse appeared out of nowhere. The war axe flashed and charged toward Lu Chen. It collided with Lu Chen's fist. As the resulting rumble echoed, the war axe collapsed and Lu Chen coughed out blood. After being knocked back a few steps, one of the 3 remaining ancient god stars on Lu Chen's forehead shattered and he rushed out once more. The shatter of the 3rd star caused storms around his body. His body went from 7,000 feet directly to more than 10,000 feet tall. He was now a true ancient god giant. Although it was far from his peak, he already held unimaginable power. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. If Lu Chen lost, he would be in danger. He took a step forward and his 4-star royal ancient god power surged out like crazy. He threw the god-slaying spear in his hand and then formed a diamond with his hands and pressed forward. A diamond light flashed out and merged with the god-slaying spear. It penetrated the void and shot toward the youth. There was also Qing Shui. Without pause, his hands formed a seal and 7 arcs of G-realm threads connected together and quickly shot forward. As Lu Chen roared, his 10,000-foot body charged forward. His eyes were fearless as he threw his bombardment of punches. The peak attack of the 3 caused the youth to panic and his pupils to shrink. At this moment, a withered hand reached out and pulled the youth back. A wile-haired old man walked out and stood before the youth. "Master." As soon as the youth spoke, the old man shouted, "Shut up. Who allowed you to open the sealed realm?" As the old man spoke, his hand formed a seal, then he said, requesting the formation to activate the heaven-splitting axe. The moment the old man spoke, specks of light appeared within hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of kilometers. These specks of light gathered like crazy toward where Wang Lin's group was. They were simply too fast. Their speed broke the limit of law. They were even several times faster than the peak attacks of Wang Lin's group. The entire void seemed to be lit up. The originally dark void was filled with lines of crystal light. In an instant, these specks of light had already taken shape. A war axe 1,000 feet long suddenly appeared. This war axe was formed by specks of light and was filled with a primal aura. As this aura spread out, the war axe suddenly descended. It appeared before the old man and directly met the peak attacks of Wang Lin's group. Bang! 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 As a crazy rumble echoed, Qing Shui coughed out a mouthful of blood and was knocked away. Wang Lin trembled and cracks appeared on his body. The 4 stars on his forehead rapidly rotated to offset the unimaginable impact, but he was also knocked back. Lu Chen's body gradually shrank and the power of the shattered stars quickly dissipated. His eyes were filled with sadness as he looked at the axe in the sky and shouted, "Wang Lin, does your inheritance know about this object? It is the holy treasure of the ancient god clan." The heaven-splitting axe exploded into countless specks of light, causing the fragmented net to quickly recover. The old man outside the net revealed a strange look. Then he waved his hand and the specks of light turned into 3 large hands. One of them grabbed the moongazer serpent and mercilessly pulled it outside the net. The other hand reached toward Lu Chen. Right now he simply had no power to resist. The third giant hand reached toward Wang Lin. Just at this instant, decisiveness filled Lu Chen's eyes, as if he was determined to do something. The moment the giant hand grabbed him, his right hand reached toward between his eyebrows. He took the last 2 ancient god stars and threw them toward Wang Lin with a wry smile on his face. His gaze toward Wang Lin was filled with never-before-seen gentleness. It was like an elder in the family looking at their own child. "Your challenge to adulthood was excellent. Not even my child was as excellent as you. All children of the ancient god clan receive a gift after their challenge. These 2 ancient god stars will be my gift to you." Lu Chen's voice was filled with a trace of relief and sadness as he looked at the void. He was grabbed by the giant hand and pulled outside the net. "Ancient god! Ancient god! You can reverse the heavens, but you can't reverse life. I, Lu Chen, am not an ancient god, but a lonely god." Lu Chen's sad voice echoed across the void and landed in Wang Lin's ears. Wang Lin's mind trembled and he felt some kind of resonance. Lu Chen had dared to defy the heavens and wasn't afraid of heaven or earth. However, he wasn't able to reverse his own fate, which was the moongazer serpent. He was assimilated with the moongazer serpent and had most of his ancient god power absorbed. This forced him to revert from a peak 8-star ancient god back into child form. All of this was a fate he couldn't change. He had been trapped inside the moongazer serpent for tens of thousands of years, living a life that was worse than death. With the pride of the ancient gods, the humiliation he suffered in his heart revealed his desolation. The ancient god clan was an extremely proud clan, and this pride refused to allow anything to trample on them. Tu Sai was the same, and Lu Chen was also the same. Wang Lin silently pondered and his heart filled with pain. However, there was respect in his eyes. He respected ancient god Lu Chen. At this moment, There was a whistle in the void as the two ancient god stars moved at an extreme speed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin grabbed the two stars, and at that moment, the stars merged with Wang Lin. At this instant, an unimaginable ancient god power filled Wang Lin's body. This ancient god power was too strong, and popping sounds came from Wang Lin's body. In the blink of an eye, his body grew several times larger. He was now more than 3,000 feet tall. All the veins on his body bulged as if there was a power inside him that wanted to tear him apart. Filled with pain, Wang Lin charged forward and let out a roar. This roar turned into endless sonic booms and shot forward. It also contained the might of a royal ancient god, which caused the giant golden hand coming at him to pause. Wang Lin could clearly feel the power of the ancient gods from the two stars Lu Chen threw at him surge through his entire body. This ancient god power was equivalent to Wang Lin absorbing spiritual energy from countless planets for tens of thousands of years. It was as if his body was going to collapse under his power. That feeling of his body being torn apart made him almost crazy, so he let out roars to vent himself. There was a trace of violent pressure within these roars. The stars rapidly rotated between his eyebrows until it was impossible to see how many stars there were. Wang Lin let out a roar as he took a step and mercilessly threw a punch. This punch immediately set off a storm. The void before him was pushed back as if it was being ripped open, and a powerful force swept forward. The large hand formed by the golden light paused due to the punch Wang Lin released. However, with a heaven-shaking bang, Wang Lin's hand and the golden hand collided. Bang! 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 This bombardment of punches caused both sides to stagger. The crazy amount of impacts caused the giant hand to retreat. Wang Lin's body trembled a bit and he retreated a few steps. At this point, his eyes gradually calmed down. At this moment, he no longer felt pain from his body but instead felt comfortable. He clenched his fists as if he was holding the world. There was no giant hand reaching for Qing Shui, but his eyes had a strange gaze as he looked at the two people on the other side of the net. His eyes were filled with confusion, but there was also a trace of struggle in them. It was as if he was in a trance, and pain came from his head. It felt as if there was a hidden memory that was mercilessly opened when he saw those two. The flashing net in the void was rapidly recovering. Just as it was about to recover completely, there was a flash of coldness in the eyes of the old man outside the net. He stared at Wang Lin's giant body, especially at the four rapidly rotating stars with a vortex in the middle. Specks of golden light scattered from Wang Lin's body and gathered at the vortex, causing waves of powerful ancient god power to spread out. There was a drop of black liquid that appeared and disappeared within the vortex. He really is a royal ancient god. The old man's eyes shined brightly. A 5-star royal ancient god that has just awakened. I didn't expect there to still be royal ancient gods in the sealed realm. If the Elder Council finds out about this, it will set off a great storm. Fortunately, this person is only in the awakening state. If he had fully awakened and reached 6 stars, then even I would have to retreat. The old man gasped and greed filled his eyes. If I can absorb his royal ancient god power, I will be able to occupy a seat in the Elder Council. The crescent moon mark flashed between the old man's eyebrows and he clenched his teeth. Then his hands formed a seal and the crescent moon mark actually flew out, forming an 10-foot-tall crescent moon imprint. This old man is a member of the ancient Moon Devourer clan of the immemorial Celestial clan. Today, I've come across the greatest opportunity in my life. No matter what, I can't let him go. As the old man roared, the crescent moon mark flashed like crazy and charged forward. Just as the net in the void was about to withdraw completely, the crescent moon mark suddenly drilled out. It grew in the void until it was several thousand feet tall and was comparable to Wang Lin. Moon Celestial devours God. The old man's eyes suddenly widened and a large amount of veins bulge on his face. As the veins extended, they gathered under the crescent moon mark, making him look very ferocious. The moment he spoke, the crescent moon mark seemed to boil and gave off a demonic light. Then a giant mouth appeared on the crescent moon mark and charged to devour Wang Lin. Endless suction force came from inside the big mouth. This suction was extremely strange. It was as if countless threads had come out to drill into Wang Lin's body. The mouth from the crescent moon was so fast that it closed in on Wang Lin in an instant. Wang Lin simply had no chance to react. As the endless suction filled the area, it directly devoured Wang Lin. Wang Lin's figure no longer existed in the void, the only thing that remained was the huge crescent moon mark. The old man was very excited when the crescent moon mark rushed back. He wanted to make it out of the net before it completely withdrew. The old man's laughter was filled with excitement. He didn't think he would encounter such fortune today. After devouring this royal ancient god, this old man will have the cultivation level to hold a position on the Elder Council. The old man charged forward toward the net. His right hand reached out for the crescent moon mark. He had already thought about how he was going to gain respect in the Elder Council after he devoured the royal ancient god, how he would stand above all within his sect. However, just at this instant, the old man's expression changed greatly and his face filled with disbelief. All of his plans were ruined and he stared straight ahead. A crazy aura came out from the crescent moon mark that devoured Wang Lin. This aura was extremely powerful and caused the crescent moon mark to tremble violently. Then the crescent moon mark exploded with a bang. The crescent moon mark was broken by force into countless pieces. At this moment, the old man's face was completely pale and popping sounds came from between his eyebrows. Then he coughed out a large mouthful of blood. Terror filled his eyes and he cried, "Impossible." The crescent moon mark between his eyebrows cracked in half and the old man was knocked back. The youth in black next to him was still in a daze. Even now, he still didn't understand why such a shocking change had occurred. Inside the net, Wang Lin walked out from the shattered crescent moon mark. The 5 stars on his forehead rotated slowly and the power of a royal 5-star ancient god filled the area. However, this wasn't what made the crescent moon mark explode or what made the old man cough out blood. At this moment, there was a black and white bead floating between Wang Lin's eyebrows. Heaven-defying bead. The moment Wang Lin was devoured by the crescent moon mark, the heaven-defying bead began moving on its own and flew out from between his eyebrows. The moment the heaven-defying bead appeared, a mysterious force came out from within it. The crescent moon mark wasn't able to resist at all and suddenly collapsed. At this moment, black and white gas surrounded the heaven-defying bead. The black and white gas charged out, went through the flashing net, and charged directly at the old man. The old man screamed and his face filled with fear. It was as if he recognized the heaven-defying bead. His gaze toward Wang Lin was filled with unimaginable fear. You are. He lost his wits and retreated while feeling shocked. The fear in his eyes almost reached its peak. However, he was too slow. The black and white gas went through the net that sealed this void. The moment it charged out, the black and white gas expanded and sped up before chasing after the old man. In an instant, the black and white gas caught up. Whether the old man tried to teleport or merge with the world, everything became pointless before the black and white gas from the heaven-defying bead. The moment the black and white gas closed in, it surrounded the old man. The old man's body trembled violently, fear filled his eyes, and his pounding heart isolated all other sounds. As the black and white gas circled him, it formed a vortex before the old man. An arm came out from the vortex and made a beckoning motion toward the old man. The broken moon mark between the old man's eyebrows shot out with a bang, and there were still lines of blood connected to the mark. The moment the mark flew out, the old man let out an extremely miserable scream. His body trembled, large drops of sweat fell from his face, and the veins on his body bulged as if they were about to explode. Despair filled the old man's eyes as he looked at Wang Lin and mournfully said, "Sealed Realms Supreme, please spare my life." However, Wang Lin was still in shock and had simply no control over this matter, much less over the heaven-defying bead. Seeing that Wang Lin made no attempt to stop the heaven-defying bead, the old man let out a miserable smile. He watched as the crescent moon mark was pulled from his forehead by the big hand before it slowly returned back into the vortex. Large amounts of blood sprayed out from the old man's forehead and he became dispirited. His eyes were bleak and his body flew back as if he had been hit by a powerful impact. Fear filled black-robed youth's eyes as he looked at Wang Lin. The coldness in his eyes collapsed and was replaced with terror. He dodged Wang Lin's gaze and didn't dare to make eye contact. His body flashed and he grabbed hold of the old man. The old man's eyes revealed a trace of struggle. Disregarding the blood from between his eyebrows, he shouted, "Quickly, retreat." The youth didn't hesitate and quickly retreated while carrying the old man. The formation formed by the black and white gas dissipated back into black and white gas. Then it penetrated the recovering net and returned back into the heaven-defying bead. The heaven-defying bead slowly flew to Wang Lin and floated before him. The surrounding flashing net was slowly covered by the void once more. Then there was nothing but the endless darkness and silence. As for the Moongazer Serpent and Lu Chen, they were isolated outside the net. When the void spread, they disappeared forever. Qing Shui stared at all of this. A majority of his celestial origin energy had been sealed. He looked at Wang Lin and his originally confused eyes became focused. Looking at the heaven-defying bead, Wang Lin was just as shocked as the old man who had lost his mark from ancient times. He wasn't unfamiliar with the arm that came out from the vortex. He saw it when he first activated the heaven-defying bead. At this moment, while he pondered, Wang Lin carefully raised his right hand and touched the heaven-defying bead. The bead immediately entered his right hand and disappeared into his origin soul. During ancient times, there were ancient people that cultivated their own heaven and earth. They became celestials and formed the ancient celestial realm. The ancient celestial realm is the holy land of my celestial realm, the real celestial realm. Qing Shui seemed to be speaking to himself, and there was a hint of sadness in his eyes. Master Bai Fan was someone from the ancient celestial realm. He descended from the ancient celestial realm to teach us all. Teacher once said that the ancient celestial realm was the guardian of all life. If the ancient celestial realm exists, then the heavens and earth will exist. If the ancient celestial realm was gone, then everything would be destroyed. He originally thought that the ancient celestial realm would be eternal, but that day, the towering tree supporting the ancient celestial realm collapsed and the ancient celestial realm disappeared without a trace. Even after spending a lifetime searching, Teacher wasn't able to find a trace of the ancient celestial realm. The disappearance of the ancient celestial realm represented the collapse of the ancient cultivation world and ushered a new era. The world was confused. Without the ancient celestial realm, how could there be celestials? Thus, qi refiners were born. I, Qing Shui, was a qi refiner. I was heir to the country of clear water. However, although the celestial realm was gone, Master Bai Fan and few of his peers opened their own world. They took the 4 great passages to the ancient celestial realm and created their own land, naming it Celestial Realm. The wind, rain, thunder, and lightning celestial realms split the galaxy into 4 systems. Under the wind celestial realm was the cloud sea, under the rain celestial realm was brilliant void, under the thunder celestial realm was all heaven, and under the lightning celestial realm was summoned river. The system below the rain celestial realm had its name changed by others to the Alliance. Who else still knows that this place was once called Brilliant Void? Qing Shui let out a sigh as he looked at the void. It was as if he was looking at the thunder celestial realm from back then, and reminiscence filled his eyes. At the thunder celestial realm, I met her. As Wang Lin pondered, his body gradually shrank. Popping sounds echoed as his 3,000-foot body slowly returned to normal size. 5 ancient god stars rotated between his eyebrows and gave off a fierce ancient god aura. At this moment, Wang Lin's original body had the power of a 5-star ancient god, and he was now considered one of the strong. If a 5-star royal ancient god used a spell, he could battle early-stage nirvana cleanser cultivators. Once he returns to normal space and his origin energy is unsealed, almost no early-stage nirvana cleanser cultivator will be his match. For the first time, Wang Lin felt like he was powerful. His expression was calm as he silently looked at Qing Shui. Qing Shui's eyes revealed a hint of gentleness, but it was soon replaced with pain. He could never forget that time where he was lost in madness and accidentally killed his beloved partner. This kind of pain was deep inside his heart, and it continued to devour him. Not even unforgettable was enough to express how powerful it was. During ancient times, when my celestial clan was at its peak. In my memory, I clearly remember that this peak didn't last for long. The four celestial realms entered a life and death battle over a single item. The pain was quickly hidden away. This was a pain he faced alone every night, an unspeakable pain he could never forget. This great war lasted for far too long, and in the end, the celestial realms lost too much. In the end, during the peak of the war, a person came out from the void. According to Master Bai Fan, this person was an old acquaintance from the ancient celestial realm. His appearance prevented this war from continuing, and he held the order from the ancient celestial realm to set up barrier between the four celestial realms. If the barrier was opened once more, the anger of the ancient celestial realm would descend and burn everything. As Qing Shui's voice echoed, Wang Lin silently listened. The four great celestial realms were isolated from each other and the war was over. As for the root of all of this, the thing everyone wanted, I don't know. All I know is that it was a bead. Qing Shui looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained the same, but his mind was in shock. If I had obtained that bead, I would certainly keep it well hidden and not take it out or let anyone see it. This object is simply too important. Qing Shui spoke as if he was talking to himself and let out a sigh. The great war between the four celestial realms caused them to lose too many celestials. All four realms were at their weakest. However, it was during that time that a shocking change occurred. A bunch of freaks from the Tattoo clan came from an unknown origin and appeared in the realm under the four celestial realms. These Tattoo clan members used extremely strange spells. We celestials were completely different. We don't cultivate Tao, only our celestial origin. We can reverse the power of heavens and wield it. Those people gathered all their power onto talisman-like treasures and used them. The battle was very intense. In the end, my celestial clan won and scattered this Tattoo clan. We even turned a large amount of them into our slaves. However, the four celestial realms suffered even more damage. After that, we found out that this Tattoo clan came from the void under space, which is here. Qing Shui pointed under his feet. Wang Lin gasped and his eyes shined. He had encountered the Chosen Immortal clan a lot, but he didn't expect the Chosen Immortal clan's origin to be the void. Thinking about the old man and youth, an idea suddenly appeared in Wang Lin's mind. This void doesn't only surround the Alliance, it surrounds all four systems under the four celestial realms. Qing Shui let out a sigh and muttered, after the war with the Tattoo clan, I began to show signs of madness, but at that time I didn't pay attention to any of this. After that, you should have heard about what happened from Master Flame's Park. Wang Lin pondered for a bit while he looked at Qing Shui. After a long time, he slowly said, Senior brother, that old man said that he was from the ancient Moon Devourer clan of the immemorial celestial clan. Qing Shui's eyes were filled with confusion as he softly said, this is what also confuses me. I have never heard of this immemorial celestial clan. Could the Tattoo clan from back then be from the same place? Were they also members of the immemorial celestial clan? The confusion in Qing Shui's eyes became even stronger. However, I feel very strange. The moment the seven-colored gas appeared, I unexpectedly saw an illusion. I heard that teacher died while pointing madly at the sky. What exactly did teacher see? Wang Lin pondered deeply. A large mystery seemed to fill the surroundings, but it was hidden in smoke, not allowing anyone to see the truth inside. Both Wang Lin and Qing Shui silently pondered in the void. The celestial origin energy in Qing Shui's body was eventually completely sealed. He gradually weakened, and on the third day, he lost the ability to fly. Wang Lin supported Qing Shui as he continued to move through the void. The celestial fragment Master Flame's Park gave them floated before him and gave off a gentle light. It was as if it had made a connection with the outside world and was leading the way. Supporting Qing Shui, Wang Lin followed the celestial fragment. On the 9th day, Qing Shui was extremely weak. He looked at the void and the drifting celestial fragment as he said, after I take the memories from esteemed Xian Bao's origin soul, you should keep the origin soul. His origin soul contains a large amount of celestial origin energy, so it will be very useful to you. Your attitude is very similar to mine back then. I hope you will cherish it more than me, because I no longer have the qualifications or people to cherish. Qing Shui looked at Wang Lin as if he was looking at his past self. The same kind of coldness, the same kind of slaughter, and the same kind of loneliness. On this day, the celestial fragment suddenly shined brightly and stopped. As it shined, a vortex appeared before it. There was an altar on the vortex with countless cultivators chanting. Master Flamespark stood on the altar with a smile and his voice entered. Welcome back. This video will end here.